Hi guys, good evening and welcome back once again to the EdWord. I'm your host Eddie. Happy Halloween. I hope you've had an awesome, safe, and above all, fun Halloween weekend and an even better Halloween night, which was tonight. I mean, it's technically still ongoing, but the parties and trick-or-treating are probably died down by now. You know, something that occurred to me earlier as I was watching the latest episode of Fear the Walking Dead, it occurred to me that 11 years ago tonight, exactly 11 years ago, October 31st, 2010, the series premiere of The Walking Dead debuted. Episode 1 of Season 1 dropped Halloween night 2010. Oh my God. Has it been that long? 11 years later, the show is in its 11th and final run. We've got 2 spin-offs and a trilogy of films on the way, and 2 other shows as well. I mean, my God, who knew we would end up, well, where we are? It's phenomenal and just mind-blowing to think about, but wow. Also, it's just mind-blowing to think that it's already been 11 years. Like, that's a very long time. Very long. Hard to believe, but wow. Hell of a legacy, and I've been excited and damn happy to be a part of it. So I'm here to talk about my very enthusiastic review of the latest and greatest episode of Fear the Walking Dead, which dropped earlier tonight. I was celebrating Halloween with my family, so I just got back home and watched it. I recorded it. Got a lot to say about it, but before I get into all of that, please be warned, this is a spoiler-filled review, so if you're not caught up on Fear the Walking Dead by the latest episode, like I was earlier, you do not want to keep watching or listening to this episode, as I will be discussing spoilers. That being said, you have been warned. Let's dive right back into it. First and foremost, I love that it was centered around one of my new favorite characters, John Dorie Sr., who of course replaced his son, who tragically died last season. R.I.P. John Dorie. And thanks again, Garrett Dillahunt. You were awesome. But welcome to the Walking Dead franchise, Keith Carradine. And he was great in this episode. This whole episode felt like almost like a horror movie or a ghost story movie, the way he was like communicating with Cindy Hawkins' ghost or spirit, even though it was all like the result of hallucinations of him going to cold turkey and stop drinking. And then he sees the disembodied souls of the other dead women Teddy murdered. And this episode was a good reminder to us that even though Teddy Maddox is thankfully dead and gone, his legacy and the shit he did to people and what he put people through, including John Dorie Sr., still lives on and haunts him. But I do love the fact that he was able to make some kind of peace by the end of this episode when he and June discover buried within the walls of their little bunker is where Cindy was indeed buried. I really thought he was going to leave June there for a quick minute, but then as soon as he got his head straight, he took down those 3 hostile masked men and was able to save June and recover her from the fallen beam that was crushing her. So, great episode. Did not expect it to end the way it did, with those 2 ending up at Victor Strand's tower. I can tell neither one of them, especially Dorie Sr., wasn't too pleased to be there or pleased to see Victor. But it sounds like the feud between Victor and Strand won't necessarily come to a head unless Victor does something to somebody who Morgan cares about. Because it sounds like Morgan doesn't mind, he doesn't seem to mind or care that Victor is trying to rebuild or save people or rebuild the world. But as long as he doesn't hurt anyone that Morgan cares about, they should be good. But obviously that's probably not going to last very long. So, but I was happy to see Morgan. I was like, oh good, he heard their little radio call. That's great. But I really did enjoy just how much of the majority of this episode was just centered on John and June Dorie. And I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I love Keith Carradine in this role, and he did a great job bringing a real sense of humanity and guilt and just an overall, hauntedness of this man. And I do love that he got some kind of closure by the end of this episode by finding Cindy Hawkins' body. And like I mentioned earlier, I really enjoyed just how much it felt and looked like a horror movie, if not necessarily a horror movie, a ghost story movie where he's actually communicating with the dead woman as in spirit form and whatnot, trying to help her or bring resolution to her murder or cause of death. Even though that was all an hallucination, he was obviously talking to himself, it still felt like a good ghost story. So great stuff. Really enjoyed it. Had a few mini heart attacks where I thought John Dory Sr. might have been bitten by a walker, but thankfully he was just fine. So really, really liked it. Looking forward to the next episode. And I love seeing John and June at the center of action once again, just the two of them. So what did you guys think of tonight's episode of Fear? Like it, love it, hate it? Let me know what you think down below in the comments section. Have an awesome rest of your night. Thank you so much for watching. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more Walking Dead content. There's a lot more coming our way. All right, everybody. Have a great rest of your night. Happy Halloween once again. And of course, until next time, may the Force be with you.